Hey everybody! So today we are going to be talking about the Galactic Center, but we're going to do it a little different today because I was pouring through all of the research, all of the participants that have come out so far. There have been over 90 people that have done the questionnaire. There have been like anywhere from 40 to 60 more people that have just reached out to me via email to share their experiences. That's a massive amount of people. That's like anywhere from like 130 to 150 people in total. That's a lot of fucking people. And I am so touched. That might sound stupid, but I'm really, really touched that many people have an interest in this and actually want to share their experiences with this, with having planets conjunct the GC or opposite the GC or even squaring the GC. Like I feel very honored that you all want to share this with me. Truly honored. And that you want to be a part of it. Really, so thank you so much. Truly, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if anybody else still wants to be a part of this research, it is still going on. It's gotten fucking huge in scope. So if you want to be a part of it, reach out and let me know, because it'll be going on, I'm sure, for a very long time. I doubt I'm stopping anytime soon. But I'm pouring through this research, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I could convey this stuff to people, but wouldn't it be better if the people writing this stuff to me conveyed it to you? I feel like there is something very powerful about people sharing their experiences, something cathartic about it too in a lot of cases. And I feel like it's also impactful for the learning process. Like I feel like when you're hearing it from me, like I could convey it just fine, their experiences, but And if some people want me to, would rather do it like that than them getting on film, I understand that. But if anybody has a desire to actually share their experience with the GC with me on camera, on YouTube, I would love to have you to talk about it, ask some questions. You can go as deep, bearing your soul as you want to, or you can stay very cut and dry, however you want to do it. I'll roll with it. I'm pretty easygoing. But yeah. I would like to start doing this. So if you're interested in this, in doing this, email me at saturnseason@gmail.com. I will put the link in the, or not the link. I'll put the, I'll put my email in the description box below. If you are interested, reach out. But before I do this, I figure I should start with myself, because I'm the one doing all this research, and I'm the one that has, yeah, so why not start with myself? And as of recently, I felt a little bit more compelled to share things, even if it's just little tidbits here and there. So I figure it's a good time to do this. Yeah, so I'll start with myself. Now, I probably won't, I may or may not get to, the stuff at the Super Galactic Center or the stuff at the whatever opposes the Super Galactic Center today. I don't know. It depends on how long this goes. But I will definitely be talking about the conjunctions that I have to the GC, the conjunction to the anti-center, and how I feel like this manifests for me. Now, mind you, there will be more ways than just these that I'm going to say that they have manifested in my life. But these are the ones that come to my head off the bat. These are the ones I feel comfortable sharing, what have you. There are more ways though. This is my chart, just so you can get an idea. There is, as you can see, I've got Venus and Uranus conjunct the Galactic Center. They're like right on top of it. Pallas and the Sun Moon midpoint, they're at like 23 degrees, so they're very close to. Saturn is at 21 Sagittarius, so it's pretty close to. The ascendant is at roughly 16 degrees. It's also close. Neptune is at 5 degrees Capricorn. It's also close. And then on the opposite of the axis, we have Chiron conjunct the Galactic Anticenter. And then at the Super Galactic Center, there is my midheaven, my south node, and what's pulled there is Messier 87. That's what you need to pull the Super Galactic Center. And then on the opposite of the axis would be my IC, my north node, and whatever opposes the Super Galactic Center, you can't pull that though. So as you can see, my Galactic Grand Cross is lit the fuck up. Very lit up. So that's why this has been such a personal thing for me, and wanting to explore this and wanting to really understand it and how it manifests in my life, in the lives of my clients, in the lives of people that want to participate in the research. That's what made me want to start doing the research. I want to be like, am I the only fucking weirdo out there? Because sometimes it feels that way. I know that's not true. But yeah, so for this, I'm just going to be focusing primarily on Venus and Uranus because they are so close to the GC. They're in a threesome. So I'll be focusing on those primarily. So Venus's values and love, you know, what you love, what you need to be loved, that kind of thing. Uranus is, you know, it's unique, it's weird, it's quirky, it's different. It's liberated. So I do feel like that the things, and because I'm talking about the first house, since this is in the first house, the things that I value about myself personally, they are not always the things that other people value about me. Then, you know, on the other end of that, the things that other people value about me sometimes aren't things that I value about myself. And sometimes that's not a good thing. Like there are things that people value about me that I don't even see. I don't see it the way that they do. And I feel like that could be a warped, you know, because the GC itself is a big black hole. It warps, it distorts, it changes, it transforms, it mutates, it does all this shit to planets conjuncted. So sometimes when somebody values something about me that I don't quite see myself or I don't quite value about myself, I have to sit there and kind of ask myself, okay, is my perception of what I value about myself real fucked? because these other people are valuing something about me that I don't value about myself. And sometimes I'll find that my sense of self-value is pretty fucked. I have Capricorn on the cusp of the second house. So second house also values. So there is kind of it tends to swing in a less than direction than it probably should. And other people tend to help me to see that I shouldn't be so much that way. But then sometimes people will value things about me that really are wonky, and I'm like, I don't even know why the fuck you like this about me, but okay. You know. So values are a big one. And another thing, you know, before I mentioned that the GC has like an affinity for retrograde planets and for out of balance planets because both change things. Retrograde planets change the planetary energy. Out of balance planets change the planetary energy. It changes how the planet functions. The GC does the same thing. So from the research that I've looked at so far, from people's answers to things, and from my own personal experience, it does seem to me that when you've got direct planets that are direct, conjunct the GC, they do kind of change that planet to almost function like a retrograde. Now, that's not, I mean, because to me, specifically Venus, to me, Venus functions like a retrograde planet. In my opinion, in my chart, it does. Now, I also realize that I have my chart ruler. Jupiter is retrograde. So I'm already kind of looking at my chart through a retrograde lens, if you will. I do realize that I am. And I look at the world that way a little bit. So I realize that exists. But beyond just me, I have noticed that other people that have like Mercury direct, or they have fucking Saturn direct, or whatever, conjunct the GC, those planets, the way they kind of talk about those planets is more like somebody would talk about a retrograde planet. This also makes me think about retrograde planets conjunct the GC. I feel like it might do the opposite. It might kind of flip them and make them act more direct. Because while the GC does like all this transforming, all of this change, mutation, distorting, all of this, it's also where and destroying, it's also where things are born. So it seems like new ways of looking at things could come about from the GC, just from maybe shifting the perspective of the planet that's there and maybe flipping it from direct to retrograde or retrograde to direct. Something new could be born from that. But yeah, just kind of a side note. Another way this manifests for me. Okay, like I'll see things, and these are cookie cutter definitions about like Venus conjunct Uranus. But you'll see things about this conjunction in natal chart, be like, oh, these people can't be faithful. These people, blah, blah, these people can't have normal relationships. These people, blah, 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 blah. And okay, I would agree with the perhaps normal relationship thing. I'm probably not built for that. In a traditional way, I'm probably not. Maybe. I don't know. I thought I was. I found out I wasn't when the person that I was with wasn't. The person I was married to was definitely not. But I guess my point in saying that is I've never had an issue doing the monogamous sorts of relationships that I see get harped on about, like Venus and Uranus not being able to do. I've always been able to do them fine. However, I have had issues with finding people, or the relationships that I'm in with people. They can't do it. They don't seem to be able to do it. So it actually seems like it has more to do with them than it, with them not being able to do it than with me not being able to do it. But there could be some people with Venus conjunct Uranus in their natal chart, and they're like, I definitely can't do monogamy. Everybody's different. And it also depends on what else is going on in the chart. But I do wonder if the GC's involvement kind of changing Venus and Uranus maybe makes it a little easier for me to be that way. I don't know. I have thought about that though, and wondered about that. But at the same time, perhaps attract people that can't. And I've also, I bring up the attraction thing because I've joked about this being like an antenna. It does feel very antenna-like. It's definitely kind of in a way like the great attractor, but they are different. I won't go into how exactly I think about that in my mind, because that would take a long time. But similar to the great attractor, I do feel like I attract different kinds of people in my life. I attract delightful weirdos, and I love it. I truly do love it. I truly do love it. Every once in a while, I'll attract somebody who maybe isn't quite so delightful, but by and large, they're delightfully weird, and I love it. I really do love it. I am able to, something about, and it's probably because I'm fucking strange, but it does seem like I'm like a beacon or something. And then I think to myself, bitch, what are you talking about? You're talking about the GC. What the fuck do you expect? You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't surprise me but I've been like this my whole life. I've always kind of attracted things, in situations like this and throughout my whole life. So, and people, which is great, It actually is. So that's another way that it manifests. Another way, this is a little bit more shallow. Venus deals with like aesthetics, and like styling and stuff. And I've always kind of had a different sense of style. I'm sure you all have noticed I wear a bunch of shit on my head, ears and fucking Davy Crockett hats and shit. And it's not like a joke. I actually really like to wear this shit. I really do. I really do. And I would incorporate it into places that it might not normally, might not normally think to wear this kind of shit, but I would wear it there. Like for instance, when I was in high school, I used to dress up like a cat. There was no reason for this. Like there was no purpose for this. I just felt like being a cat, and I do like the whiskers and the ears, and I would do the tail. I had a tail, and I would walk around school, and nobody ever gave me any shit for this, ever. That fucker's loud. Nobody ever gave me any shit for this. It was like, it was just normal that I did this, and it felt very normal to me. However, when people there were other kids that would that started doing this. They started dressing up like animals too, all kinds of different animals. And I remember thinking, I started a fucking trend. This is really cool. A lot of those kids would get like sent home, or they would get told to wash their face or take the ears off or change their clothes or whatever. Nobody ever did that to me. Nobody ever did that to me. I don't know if it just seemed like more normal. I don't know. I don't know, but I never got fucked with about that. I never was given any hell about it. And something about that, because I've talked about the GC being protective, right? I've talked about it being like a protective force. I've also talked about Jupiter retrograde being a protective force. I do wonder if that plays in at all in my own case with that. And I realize that's like so shallow. Such a shallow fucking thing to bring up. But I did feel rather protected from, getting sent home or getting sent to the office or being fucked with. It just didn't happen. Because this has gotten longer, I'm actually going to stop this. And I am going to talk about Chiron conjunct the anti-center in another video. That might also deal with Chiron. Anyway. But if you are interested in still being part of the research, again, email me. I'll put the email below in the description box. And if you are interested in talking about this, kind of like I'm talking about it now, except I'll be asking you questions, email me and let me know. Because I really do want to start doing this in the next few weeks. All right. Well, I'm going to get going, but I will see you all later.